Hey friend, let's take a look at some web design, UI, UX designs generated by AI in Midjourney. Let's check it out. So this is where we're gonna get some inspiration to see what are people doing to create such cool results or terrible results. We'll find out. So I'm just gonna type UX in the little search bar up there and smash that enter button. Apparently there's no jobs found with the current filters. Let's try again. All right, so we typed in UX in quotation marks. For some reason, that's what we needed to do. So we got UX as a keyword, and this is where I'm assuming we're gonna get some user experience, as a keyword, which is gonna give us some websites, some landing pages. So let's take a little look at some of them right now. This crazy pretzel cheesy dip looking thing. You can tell that it's attempting to write pretzel here. This is beautiful pretzel website landing page, UI, UX. It's a V4 upscale. And 1024 by 1024 aspect ratio, so it's a 1:1. And so, yeah, I mean, this is pretty cool. It's a neat concept. So you've got like a textured background, like a surface, concrete surface, let's call it. We've got the website container in front of that with a slight box shadow behind it. And the main content on the left, a heading, body copy here. Now this part's cool. I like this part right here, which is basically another element layered on top of it on a wooden, laminated wooden circle with the pretzel on top. It gives a lot of texture. It makes it real. You got a footer down here. So this is an interesting concept. I'd probably want to make some variations on it before I actually put this into production and started designing something out of it. But good first pass. Let's move on. Whoa, a beautiful coffee website landing page, UI, UX. So this is neat because I'm seeing we've got our brown background here, but then the container of the website has this cool swoopy vibe to it, as you can see. Kind of neat. And then lots of texture. What an interesting coffee this is. Having these kind of dried leaves coming out of it, the coffee beans flying out of it, peanuts. I love how absolutely bizarre some of these AI art renderings are. They look like they're straight out of your nightmare sometimes. This is what happens in your dream. You're like, I tried drinking the coffee and it turned into a blizzard of peanut dried leaves flying out of my mouth. And I can't. So I don't know, do with that what you will. This is a strange rendering, but you know what? Try again. Give me another variation on that. Let's move on. Let's see what we got next. I want to check this out. So we got a website for digital art, UI, UX, website, blueprint design, never seen before, minimalistic, retro wave, neon. Cool keywords. Now I'm going to say, I can't really see this as a user interface for a website. It's a little too retro, futuristic, but what I like about this is this image here. This concept, if you could use this as your hero image and you could play on that, you could build off that, use that as inspiration for a nice centerpiece for that hero image, then you can create, a nice clean, maybe retro UI, use some cool 80s typography for your headings, and make an actual website out of it. But this is something that you could use. So very cool. This one's interesting because, well, I find what is interesting about AI generated art mockups is it creates this a mock-up of a device or something of the website on top of something. This is clearly on top of a textured background, like a table with oranges and blackberries and broccoli all on one table. And then there's a card floating on top of it, which is the website. Sometimes I've had AI art generate a wall in an office with a picture frame, and inside the picture frame is the website. What I found out from a commenter on the channel is that you can actually write in the parameters after your prompt --no space mockup. And that's just a prompt that you can use in Midjourney to tell it not to use something. So if I didn't want oranges, I think you would go blah, 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 website, food, recipe, UI, UX, green, orange, or maybe not orange, green, and then dash dash no space orange. And then it would try and avoid either oranges or the orange color, I guess. So this one looks to me like, you know, a recipe page. You know, you've got the recipe name, maybe the recipe time, how long it takes, beginner, jump to recipe, you know, allergies, and pro tips from the chef. And this is where you'd probably put like your steps. Maybe this is like a recipe card for one of those food subscription services where they deliver your groceries and they deliver meals and meal plans to your door, and then they give you nice recipe cards. This is what this kind of looks like right there. Next, a logo for a juice bar with crystal drops, tasty colors, jungle theme, hanging fruits, animals, elegant, happy, funny, luxury, beautiful, colorful webpage, UI, UX, HD 4K. Okay, so this is what's interesting. What I've found out and realized is the more information you feed in the prompt of a Midjourney request, Midjourney prompt, the more specific. Now it means you might not get what you're envisioning. Like maybe you write a prompt that you think is really descriptive and helpful, but it's not. The less you add, like if I just put website for a fruit, just that, like I don't know what I'm going to get. But if I were to put dark website, jungle theme, hanging blackberries, you know, illustrations, fantasy, like then that's what's going to craft that vision. It's like you have this vision that's floating around and you're trying to use descriptive words to make that vision into some sort of tangible reality, which is what Midjourney and artificial intelligence seems to be able to do. So you just go like, I just need like a web page, like with a logo, hanging fruit, dark. I want a gradient. I want texture. I want this. UI, UX, like no mock-up, this, and then give me some sort of concept. And sometimes you'll get something like this, where it's just this really, really interesting, like this in and of itself is a cool graphic right here. That could be extrapolated, cut out of it and used on a site. Even this, a water plate that is dripping your water. Like it's fantastic. The strangeness of it. Now, if that's on brand, perfect. But sometimes you'll just get something straight out of your nightmares and it's just not going to work. Let's pull something else up here. A beautiful website for an online game, Ogre Island, a town next to the sea, Middle Ages buildings, a cave entrance in the background, a specific hex code color, high resolution design, UI, UX. Okay, this to me is my favorite so far. If you're, gosh, look at this. If you are creating like a game, I don't know what Ogre Island is, but I'm getting a picture painted for me here. This is really cool because it's giving you the art rendering for the game. And this is what you'd pass off to an actual artist, a visual effects artist, an artist who's going to create the fantasy world and the world in the game to say like, this is the essence I'm going for. And you could run with that and look at the detail. Look at how fun it is. Look at the textures and the colors, the shadows, like the ocean waves, the rocks coming out of it, the cave in the background. I'm assuming the cave is like over here. Maybe this is the cave. It's got like layers. It's got this crazy mountain range in the back. I love this. And then it's on like a ripped up, burnt map paper texture all around the edges here. And right here is your big your big title, the title for the game, and then probably any other information, disclaimers, where to play it, where to buy it, so on and so forth. This one is really cool. I'm bookmarking that as a fave. So dynamic, retro, colorful, playful, geometric typography, experimental website, landing page, UI/UX, design, UI, UX, web design, typography, layout. So you see how it's hitting on these elements? It's dynamic, it's retro, colorful, playful. So do you see like the color? It's got like the dots here that are popping up. You got these dots as a bit of a motif. And that's that retro vibe. It's got a layout, like you can see the actual layout of the site. It's creating structure and a grid-based layout. Rounded corners with this, whatever this is, one of those like fart bags, you know, when you put that under your seat. Whoopee cushion. I just call it a fart bag. Oh my gosh. Okay, so it's got a whoopee cushion here, spilling outside of its container with those dots again. It's got an interesting bag, like this illustration graphic here. Like who knows what this is for? It didn't say what it was for. It just, this creator, this person asked for a prompt to create kind of like a first level inspiration, almost like a mood board. This is like what this is. It's like a mood board for coming up with design ideas. This is cool. We've got create a beautiful website landing page for delivery service, online UI UX, location, shopping, food cart, track, orders, e-commerce, 4K, realistic, high standard, high quality. This is a version 4 upscale with a 1:1 aspect ratio. And it's high quality, it's tagged. So look at this. This to me, of all the sites we've kind of looked at so far, is the most accurate in terms of what we would come to expect as a website design layout. You can see it. It's very clear. If you were to blur your eyes, to me, it looks like it's an actual website. We've got large heading, expressive typography, logo in the top left with an icon and some sort of, you know, like a logo mark and text. We've got a navigation bar in its proper place. We've got probably a checkout, like a cart, view cart, order, my account, login, those sorts of things. That's expected. We've got small typography, paragraph text underneath this giant heading, and that's beautiful balance. We've got probably get your first order for free, primary call to action, secondary call to action. We can see it clearly. Like the image, I don't know what this meal is, but you get the idea here. It's showing instead of telling, showing you what do you get? What's that box you get? You know, the packaging with these meal subscription services are very important. It's part of the experience. And it's showing the meal. It's showing what you get to make at home. And so that is a really cool mock-up rendering of this meal delivery service. It's a beautiful website for civil engineering, modern house, mansion, natural, UI, UX, blue, green, red, white, high standard, high quality, 4K realistic. B4 upscale. Okay. That accurately depicts that prompt in my mind. It's really sophisticated, very, very nice mansion photographed from an interesting angle that creates this cool shape. You can see it's creating this upward shape. That's cool. Sophisticated typography rendering, body copy. The line height's a little bit far apart, but again, that's what you fix when you're actually designing it in Figma. Primary call to action. Now, this is what I think is cool. So this image is very impressive and something I feel like is a beautiful hero image centerpiece, full screen, full height, viewport height in the mock-up. The rest of it is more just like a concept. So I can see maybe instead of having just like usually when you're done with the hero image below the fold, you'd have it go full across and it's going to be all white with your body copy and whatever else. But maybe you try something different. Maybe you have this like, you know, diagonal shaped container that comes out from somewhere. And then that's where your grid-based layout and content is. You know, maybe you could play with that to create and play with this angle, you know, these kind of geometric, architectural, you know, shapes. Maybe you could play with that on the site layout itself. And this is cool too. Maybe you can use texture, like, so this image has this big stone boulder and the grass in the image, but what if you had your container finish, you know, like end here, but then outside of the container, you had the grass keep going. And the website almost became what was in the artistic rendering. Like, what if these were in different layers and they scrolled at different speeds to create this like hyper realistic parallax effect where the website itself started to become its environment? That is cool. All right, let me know what you think down in the comments below. What do you think about these AI renderings? Do you think that AI and UI UX design is going to get more and more sophisticated as time goes on, or is it going to maintain this sort of level of weird, you know, inspirational concepts, but not really actual designs? What do you think? Let me know. Also, I invite you to join me in my free community, the Creative X Crew. Links in the description below. It's my free community for professional designers, creative professionals who are looking to get booked as a freelancer, or maybe you are a freelancer and you want to grow the business. That's where we talk about that. We host workshops, events, networking, lots of great stuff. Links down below. Thanks for watching. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We'll catch you in the next one. Cheers.